good win versus Air Force. I think the more I watched that game, you got to give them a lot of credit. They are improved. They're gonna get some wins in this conference, and I thought our guys just found a way to gut it out, tough it out, and get it done. So, looking back, I was pretty pleased with it. There's things I think when we play them second time around, we'll have a better understanding of what they're trying to do. But a lot of it, you got to give them credit, but also us credit for finding a way to get the win. We took a much-needed day off, and now we're back at it with 3 days to practice for Utah State. Utah State's one of the best offensive teams in the country, and obviously a hard place to play. So we've got to continue to get better. We got to take this stretch as, we want to win, but we got a little practice time, a little rest time. We got to try to get better with a little bit more time off than we normally have. So hopefully another good practice today, and then head to go play a tough Utah State team.
So their three-point percentage has dipped a little bit of late, not a whole lot, but a little bit. But they do still overall lead the nation in three-point shooting percentage. You guys have been defending the three fairly well of late. Is that a byproduct of having bigs inside that you don't have to sag so much and help inside? Or why is it that you guys have been good against the three, and what do you need to do against them?
I have seriously no idea why we've been good against the three. And I said that today in a press conference, or in a staff meeting. I'm really struggling here, Steve. We put an emphasis on it, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we're not real big on the perimeter. Now we've gotten better at getting quick to the ball and maybe not, being in rotations as much. So we certainly put an emphasis on it, and our guys have gotten better at it. But I don't know if it's one specific thing or not. But we'll keep certainly emphasizing to get them off the 3-point line. But Utah State's going to shoot a bunch of them.
Coach, could you talk about how the tightness of the Mountain West Conference race and how, you got to be alert every night?
Yeah, the thing about the Mountain West, there's 11 teams. I don't know this. I don't know every program, but it doesn't seem like there's a bunch of coaches on the hot seat. It doesn't seem like there's programs in disarray. It seems like there's 11 very healthy situations, and that helps because it's not always the case. And whether it's, coaches like me or Kevin Kruger in their second year, Tim Miles' second year, we think we've improved. And then to go along with the stability programs, whether it be San Diego State, certainly Boise State, and even Utah State, where they were winning, is different than when a coach gets fired and leaves versus Utah State's had some continuity, and Coach Odom's did a great job of continuing with that. So it just seems like there's a lot of rock-solid programs, even Colorado State and Wyoming, who have taken a little bit of a step back. Wyoming's obviously had crazy injuries. Colorado State lost one of the best players to play in the conference in a long time. So I just think there's really good, sustained cultures in our league right now, and that helps a lot.
Coach, what's tough to defend about Utah State in the way that they're able to get three-point shots off? Not just how they can hit them, but just the way that they schematically get them off.
Well, they have really good offensive players who can score in a variety of ways. They will sprint on makes. They'll sprint on misses. Their numbers are obviously better at home, which most places are like that. But they've got older guys. You look at their roster, there's juniors and seniors, and Utah State always has older juniors and seniors. So they have a very good understanding of how to move the basketball. They get a high number of assists. They've got good length that could shoot over you, So, 1 through 4, they can shoot the basketball.
Ashworth is a guy that came off the bench earlier in the year, but now with injury he's starting, and he can score quite a bit now. He can do the other things as a point guard too, but what do you see in what Ashworth has been doing since he's been their point guard?
Yeah, I guess with Rylan Jones being hurt, they are, he's offensively, when he shoots it, you think it's going in. You're surprised when he misses a shot. He moves well too. He doesn't seem to get real tired on the court. But their spacing, their offensive flow, their just their ability to move the basketball is really, really good. And I think Ashworth is as good as anyone out there with it.
Sean Bairstow, coach. Brother was
His brother played here.
a little bit. Yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
co-player of the year, player of the year. Just the characteristics of his game, because they're so similar to his brothers in terms of the fundamentals and the selflessness and all that.
Yeah, I mean he fits in very well offensively with what they're trying to do. He's got size, he's got skill. He's another guy who can really pass the basketball and just has a really good feel for the game. So he's been terrific, and it's obviously I know his brother was a great Lobo, and hopefully his brother's cheering for us. Over Utah State, but I know family's a big thing. But he's a really good offensive player as well.
Coach, do you pay attention to the polls at all? Like, it seemed like the Mountain West, if you get one loss, okay, you're out. Another team can get 2 or 3 losses. And then it's like, oh, no, they could only have one Mountain West team in. Oh, we put San Diego State in this week. It just seems like it's like that. Do you ever pay attention to any of this stuff?
No, not really. There's value in the sense of it brings, certainly brings some attention to your program. The fans love it. But I just think there's so many other metrics that have proven to matter where the AP and the coaches polls don't. And it's not that to devalue those by any means, but we have so much data these days. And we're all trying to go to the NCAA tournament. We're all trying to do these things. Nobody looks at that. And good or bad, I'm not like complaining that we're not in it. I don't really care a whole lot with it. The bottom line is with the new stuff that we can all look at, whether it be Ken Palm or all these things, that's just becoming less and less relevant. But I know fans care about it. But no, I don't care much a whole lot about it. I mean, I think it's great that in year 2 we've been in and out of it with the situation that we've obviously inherited. But no, I mean, I look at the overall stability of our offense, our defense, and those things more so than a ranking.
Their offensive numbers stand out, but what about Utah State defensively, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team all around. I mean, I think they're pretty balanced. They played a zone versus San Diego State, got them back in the game. They've got smart basketball players who are intelligent defensively. They try to play without fouling, which is obviously wise. So I think all around, I mean, they're right there as one of the better teams in the league.
You guys are both kind of defensively. You guys would both kind of hang your hat on offense, I would say still. Can this become a shootout, though? Like, I mean, do you?
I don't think I hang my hat on offense now. I think we're ahead of where we need to be offensively versus defensively. But we've got to get better defensively now. Where I think we've been pretty good is when teams are going offensively, we've been able to counter with our offense. So it could, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, like when we're on offense, I'm trying to score, and we're on defense, I'm trying to get a stop. And I think that if our defense could ever improve to the level of the offense, look out. But we are also pretty good offensively, and we don't need to shy away from that either.
What concerns you most about Utah State?
Well, it's a kind of an underrated hard place to play. I think anyone who's in the conference understands it. But not only from a good environment standpoint, but just they're old. They're always going to be old, and that's the key to success in college basketball these days is how can you get old and stay old? But, I mean, the obvious answer is they're phenomenal offensively, so we got to be really good defensively.
Ryan Odom, son of Dave, obviously. You guys, similar age, sons of great coaches. Did you cross paths a lot with him over the years, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, I know him a little bit. I went to Wake Forest basketball camp when I was growing up, actually, and stayed with Coach Odom. But I don't know where Ryan was at the time. But a lot of respect for him. I mean, obviously, what he was able to do before Utah State, build a program, and he's kind of taken over right where they left off there. And he seems like a really good fit, and he's a really good guy. So, obviously, both being coaches' sons, we understand it. We've grown up around it, but he's doing a great job.
The stagger in the schedule kind of makes it a weird bye, but you guys, this is your bye week, your second one. You used Oral Roberts for the first one. As far as a bye coming up this week, how important is a bye this week for this team right now, health-wise?
Me personally, Donovan, we'll see how he goes today. We held him out yesterday, and Barima practiced yesterday. So we anticipate Donovan will be fine. But we've had an interesting not having the bye week that we took away from Oral Roberts, which I don't regret doing. I think it was the right move. But we need it. Yeah, I mean, we've had a heck of a stretch, and we've played a lot of teams off of their bye week. I think Nevada, I think UNLV, and San Jose State all had that. So we need it for sure. So let's find a way to see if we can get a win versus Utah State, get a little break, and then see if we can gear up again for another tough one.